Hope on the Rock, it's your favorite show. Hope on the Rock, it's not really a show. The stories and songs, sort of a virtual show. The only place to go when you need hope.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Hope on the Rock. That was our intro, sung by the wonderful Evan Smith. And all of our intros this evening are all put together by DC Design House. So thanks, Donnie Cody, and everyone over at DC Design House for making our little online show looking so slick. So like I said, welcome to this week's episode. Here we are trying to do our best to build some kind of online virtual community during these day-by-day tough times. So thank you for being here and sharing some time with us. Tonight we've got a really great show. We have Mallory Johnson, ECMA winner, going to perform a couple of tunes with us at the end of the show. We've got some good news coming up in a few minutes. But first off tonight, we have one of my favorite people in the entire world. She is one of the most celebrated theater artists in our country. And that's the one, and that's the only, Nicole Underhay. Nicole!
I guess I should.
I caught you mid-drink.
Mom is going to be so embarrassed.
No, here we are. We can cheers together. Cheers.
Cheers.
Mine's just water, but it could be something else if we want it to be.
I can endow it as vodka.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
An actor that I can pretend that you're drinking vodka.
Nicole, it's so nice to see you.
Well, it's so nice to see you. I miss your face.
I miss your face. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Yeah. I actually started back at work this week behind the camera. Season 3 of Hudson and Rex is in pre-production. So I'm in the office as assistant production coordinator this season, which is a great position because I still get to be close to all the people who sort of make decisions about story and such. So I can kind of pester them and wear them down until they finally put me back in the show.
And so that's we'll talk about that later, but I'm actually curious to hear about that show and your involvement in it compared to what you've done. I've seen you on stage, Nicole, and for folks watching, Nicole really is one of the best in Canada. You go see Nicole in a show and it's a masterclass in acting and being present and having a good time and vulnerability.
Having a good time part.
Having a good time. So tell us though, because you have an interesting story, Nicole, that I know all about, but let's tell our listeners. Tell us about the question that I've been asking all of our guests, Nicole, is was there a moment in your childhood? What was that one moment when you decided, oh, this is for me, being on stage or acting or theater? And I'm interested to hear what your thoughts are, because I know that you have a different kind of avenue to
Yeah.
Go ahead. Tell us.
I'm very shy as a kid, or sort of, I guess now I'm extroverted around people who are extroverted, but painfully shy around people who are painfully shy. And as a kid, I was more in the painfully shy category and would sort of, hide behind mom's leg if we went to the mall and she ran into somebody she knew. And so I don't think I had ever thought about performance as a possibility of a career. It was always just so intimidating. And I grew up as a big fan of the arts. And, me and my best friend Don House would be down at the LSP Hall every night, watching every night of the run of Cat Thud or Codco, whatever was on the go. And her stepfather was the artistic animateur there, Michael Chasson. So Michael would, sneak us into the theater all the time, so we get to see everything. And I was just in awe of it, but it was never something I thought, St. John's is small, and it's really intimidating if you're not born into it. I felt really intimidated at having the thought of even possibly considering doing it. And so I ended up finishing high school. Didn't even know there was a theater in my high school.
Before you keep going though, we have something in common. Who was your elementary school gym teacher?
I can't believe, how long has it been? How many minutes are we into the show and I haven't mentioned that your father was my gym teacher. Gary Pike was my gym teacher from kindergarten to grade 6.
He might be watching tonight. So
he taught me how to do a forward roll. He taught me how to do a cartwheel. He taught me how to dribble a basketball. And he carried me home from one of those participation contests when I had an asthma attack at the Aqua Arena. I'd run around the track and he had to carry me home on his shoulders.
Gary Pike, what a guy.
I may not be here were it not for your dad.
Yes, that's right. Okay. So you made it through Gary and you made it through asthma, and then you graduated high school.
Yeah, and then at the time there was a big push to get women to do science degrees, and so I had a scholarship for 4 years to do a science degree, and I was like, well, I don't really like chemistry. I don't really like math. I don't really like physics. I mean, a few red flags going along there. And then I thought, oh, geology. It's a little bit of everything. I mean, mind you, it was a little bit of everything that I have just said I kind of didn't really like, but I thought it was very interesting. And for the first couple of years, it was, to the point that I even published a paper on the fossilized worm jaws of Cowhead, Newfoundland, marine worms called Scalicodonts. And so I published a paper on that and then took a sabbatical, which, most people do after 2 years of post-secondary education, and ended up in Toronto having a thought about what I might like to do next. And I think being in the big city, I found it actually easier to be more sort of I felt free in the big city to sort of pursue what I might want to do. And so there was this secret seed inside of me that was like, maybe I'd like to be an actor. I might like to do that. That might be something that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
And so I started taking classes through Equity Showcase and auditioning for the Village Playhouse and any community theater, anything I could find. Anybody that would see me, I would go. And got one of my first parts ever was playing Sally Bowles in I Am a Camera. So the non-musical play that Cabaret is based on. And
that's amazing. That's amazing. And then another one of your first show, I do love Cabaret though. I love that musical, and I'd be interested in. I didn't know that it was a play originally.
Yeah,
that's good to know.
Yeah.
Another show that you started off with was a Newfoundland play, Saltwater Moon.
Oh yes, me and Alan Hocko.
You and Alan Hocko.
Yeah, in Montreal. We did it first in Montreal, and I think we won the Mask that year for the best English language production. And they brought it home. We did it here at the LSPU Hall.
Wow.
That was tough. Yeah, I think it was one of the first times when we did it in Montreal. I think it was because it's a play that's very often done all across Canada, because for many reasons it's completely charming, and there's only 2 people in one set, so it's very affordable as far as theater goes. Yeah. But I think when we did it in Montreal, it was the first time that it had been done with 2 Newfoundlanders in it.
Oh, beautiful.
I think that usually, I had probably done voice and dialect coaching for that play 3 or 4 times before I actually did it myself.
I would have loved to see you in that. And it's interesting, our last couple of guests, Mark O'Brien and Kristen Pellerin, there's an Alan Hocko theme now on Hope in the Rock.
He's everywhere.
He's everywhere, that Alan Hocko. We should have him on.
And he's usually got his shirt off if there's a camera around.
Yeah. We'll get a few extra donations with a shirtless Alan Hocko, I'm sure.
Yeah,
so Nicole, we know each other. I met you through my brother Craig. Craig spent some seasons at the Shaw Festival, and I think that's where he met you. Is that right?
Oh my God! There's a reason why neither of us are working back there anymore. We had so much fun, and we were terrible on stage together. We could never hold it together. I couldn't stop laughing when I was on stage with him, to the point where in my head I'm going, Nicole, this is awful. People have paid good money to see this show and you're such a jerk. You're ruining it by laughing inappropriately. And that would make me laugh more.
No,
and
but well,
here's
here's a photo of if you laughing. It's not with Craig, but it's a beautiful photo of you at the Shaw Festival, I believe.
No,
it's Tarragon. Oh, that's at the Tarragon. Oh, I saw you in the show under the stairs. Is that right?
The small room at the top of the stairs.
Under the stairs, small room at the top. I knew there were stairs. There was
a direction and there were stairs.
So there's you, though, laughing, just looking so great there at the Tarragon. And I did love that show, Nicole.
That was really fun to do. And you look, how could I not laugh? Rick Roberts looks like he's about to bite my ear off.
So that was you laughing, and here's a different one. This is definitely from you at the Shaw Festival stage in a different attitude and different kind of emotional state.
Oh, she's angry there.
That's you. So tell us about that photo.
So that was Mrs. Warren's profession, and that's the sort of climactic scene of the play where me and Vivi go at each other because she's found out. She's been raised sort of as an upper class British woman, and I came from nothing and worked my way up and became very wealthy, but I got my money by being the madam of a brothel. So she doesn't find out until the play. The play sort of starts when Vivi finds out where her money has come from and has a problem with it. But then I sort of argue. This is the scene where I argue with her about why I made the choices that I did, because I had no other choices. And
that's right.
If I weren't sort of the madam of this brothel, it would be some horrible man that would abuse the women and wouldn't make sure that they were healthy, wouldn't take care of them, and sort of make an argument for my side. And so this is when she's all judgy, and I'm all like,
No, well, you're giving us some real, like, I see like Miss Hannigan, but in black, talking to the orphan. Like I see I'm here for it, Nicole. I'm here for it. So you spent how many seasons at the Shaw Festival?
8 seasons over 12 years.
8 seasons over 12 years. And for everyone watching, the Shaw Festival is the Shaw and Stratford Festival, I'd say, are the top summer stock repertory theaters in Canada.
Repertory theater companies in Canada.
Maybe even North America. Yeah. So I'm not sure about I'm not sure when this photo was taken, if it was during your time at Shaw or not, but I know that you did spend some time on
Murdoch Mysteries.
On Murdoch Mysteries on CBC. And so that's you in the center. Is that you in the middle? Yeah. Under ER Gray Furniture. Check out that costume. That's a great costume. Tell us about can you talk to us about the difference, if there is any, in acting for television and acting on stage for you?
Well, you know what? Tara Rosling, Tara, she's spent many years at the Shaw Festival, and she's a lovely actor that sort of really manages to seamlessly go back and forth between the two media, much more successfully than I ever have. And I remember years ago reading an interview with her where she said, in theater, it's like you have to sort of bring your energy to the audience, and with film and TV, you let the camera take the energy from you. And I thought, that makes a lot of sense. I still can't do it very well, but that makes sense in theory. And when I did Murdoch, like especially around that time when we were outside doing all the suffragettes walking kind of stuff, there were often horses as background performers. And so, as we're waiting around to start the shot, standing by, rolling, action, everybody would go sort of from talking this volume to talking very much like this and being very, quiet, and to the point that during one of the takes, we walked past a horse and it farted, and it was like louder than any of us were speaking.
Those horses.
Those flatulent horses. One of them they used to call Pump and Pete.
Oh, of course.
During takes. Yeah.
Things that you just don't know that happen behind the scenes on these period dramas. I'm sure the same thing happened in Anna Green Gables and Road to Avonlea.
Oh yeah.
And all of those. And so that was so you went from one CBC show then to another, hey?
With
Hudson Red.
No, they're City TV.
Oh my God, my research tonight is just off the
Your
wall.
research.
I need to talk to my research assistant about this research.
Well, and I did Saving Hope was sort of in the middle. I think I did Saving Hope after Murdoch Mysteries, and that was really fun because I got to play like a really kind of crazy woman who's obsessed with Charlie, who's the lead character in Saving Hope. And what's great about that show is that, I don't know if you know the premise of it, it's in a hospital, and the main actor, he can see ghosts. So people who have either just died or are about to die and have some kind of unresolved business, he sort of helps them across the finish line, as it were. And so you don't get killed off that show. You just become a ghost. But you got to be careful what outfit you die in, because that's what you have to wear.
If you come back in. So, folks watching, if you've seen any of these shows, let us know. Have you seen Murdoch Mysteries? Have you seen Saving Hope? I've seen both of those shows and I love them. And I do need to now go to see. I need to go to City TV to see Hudson Rex. Tell us about, because your experience in Hudson Rex. It's Hudson Rex, yes, that's the
Hudson
name.
and Rex. So Charlie Hudson is the main detective, and Rex is his canine sidekick. And I mean, the dog. Diesel is the main dog. There's 3 dogs that play the role.
Okay.
Diesel is like the main dog, and then Iko does a lot of the takedown stuff. So if a criminal is trying to get away, Charlie will be like, "Go, Rex!" And then Iko is the one that does the takedowns because she's smaller than Diesel, and Diesel they would be at great risk of being legitimately hurt if you were taken out by Diesel. But because Iko's a bit smaller, she does the takedowns, and then Izzy makes a really good angry face. So whenever they need an angry face, they use Izzy.
So that's amazing. Three different dogs. And your role, though, on this is a little different from the other TV shows that you've been a part of. You're behind the scenes in this show, right?
I'm mostly behind the scenes, though. Remember when I talked about it's good to have the ear of the producers and be in the same room with them? I've managed to be in 2 episodes of Hudson and Rex already. Yeah. As the first one was a caterer at a wedding where they thought that I had poisoned the bride, but I didn't. Yeah. And then the second one was judging like a cooking competition.
Good for you.
I find a thumb in a beef Wellington.
Of course you did. So what's the big difference from being in front of the screen or in front of the camera and then behind the camera?
I think behind the camera, I think one thing it taught me, because I've done a lot of theater, and film and TV is just so hard to break into, and the experiences, they just don't come along as often, and they're not as consecutive. So you'd be at Shaw for 8 to 10 months of the year, and if you got like a day here and a day there on a TV show, you'd be doing really well. So I think that's a big part, is that, it's hard to feel that momentum as an actor, and it's hard to, there's so much rejection. Yeah. And I think I used to take it personally, but then behind the scenes, it just sort of, there are so many other things at play that I think it's taught me just not to take it so personally, when you can still have a great audition and not get the part. And, that should kind of be enough, because you did your job. It's just, there's a lot of other stuff at work. You might be too blonde, too tall, too short, too anything. You know what I mean? You might remind the director of his ex-wife. It could be any number of things. So it's been really sort of just mentally healthy to see that side of it. And it's a nice team, to feel part of the crew where I'm there every day and I get to see it from start to finish. That's a really cool feeling as well.
Cool. And so that's, but isn't that a great lesson to learn of, I do something and I put energy out into the world, and I let that energy live in the world without having to put any judgment on that energy or what I've done, or place any kind of ill feeling towards it, but being okay with what I've done and allowing it to just do its work.
Yeah, just let it all go.
So good. I'm so happy for that because that's I think something that like theater, like actor or not, I think it's a human thing that we kind of go through is like letting things go and shaking things off. So that's
It's a very intimate, personal thing, you know. You put a lot of time and effort into these auditions, and you make yourself very vulnerable. But there are just so many people who do what I do that there's no time to get back to everybody and give them feedback. Like, it's just not possible. So you just have to learn, which I think is a very good, healthy lesson in general, is to not rely on other people's opinions and to trust your instincts and to know when you've done a good job. And just because you don't get the reward you think you deserve, the work is its own reward. You know?
That's so beautiful, and you're so right. That's beautiful. I'm gonna write that down.
Put it on a t-shirt. Yeah.
I'm gonna put it on a t-shirt. So, Nicole, in my research assistant, when him and I were chatting earlier, and he was showing me a bunch of great photos from you on stage, and I was like, oh my gosh, look at Nicole's hair. It looks so wonderful in all of these photos. And we were talking about our hair before we started. I mean, if the audience could see us a half hour ago, we had to go in for hair and makeup pretty quick. So, I collected some great photos, some great hair photos of you.
Oh, yeah.
Over the years. So shall we share them with the audience?
Of course. There's probably a lot of wigs involved.
So here's the first.
I feel like you're holding some ace up your sleeve that's like super.
Here's the
and
first.
there it is.
Here's the first.
Yeah, it is.
There's Nicole. How old are you there, Nicole?
I would say I'm probably like 8 or 9, maybe probably 7 or 8.
7 or 8. And you're from St. John's, right?
I'm from St. John's. My mom used to take me to get perms. And this was when Who's the Boss was really big. And Alyssa Milano was, you know, everybody was in love with Alyssa Milano. I thought I looked like her in that picture.
Well, you know what's funny? I did just go buy a perm kit because my hair is getting so long that I might be looking like that photo now in a couple of days. Who knows?
Well, it's a perfect new trend. What can I do?
That's right. So then the perm though does grow out and it does straighten out.
Oh God.
And that's why, like, you're from St. John's, but I mean, you got that Mount Pearl curl going on there. So tell us about how you here.
That's my grade 12 grad picture.
Grade 12 grad. Check you out. Loving the look. We got the bangs, the straight hair, the braces. We have some long hoop earrings.
Yeah. Craig Pike is. Craig, you're dead after school. He gave you all these pictures, didn't he?
I'm into it. And then we go from there and let's go to this one. We've got hair all over the place in this photo.
And no belly button.
No belly button. Yeah, this is the Shania Twain look minus the belly button and extra fur.
Did I ever wear pants that were that low? I don't think I did.
No, but your hair looks great. And then we've got this photo of you.
Oh yeah, that was for an 80s themed New Year's.
Okay, so I mean we've got 80s, but then we've also this was the 80s as well, though, right?
Yes. Yeah, that would have been.
Oh, two 80s looks. And then
I'm gonna rock it now, kind of, you know.
To finish off our hair look, we've got this doozy right here. Which is my personal favorite.
Well, that was, you know, every now and then you do a play and you know what might not be the greatest, but you somehow manage to suppress those feelings or keep them at bay until you kind of get to closing night and then you kind of go, well, that was a stinker. This one, I gotta say, I knew it before we closed. I knew it before we opened. And I played a dead body.
Well, that we could tell. And your wig looked great. So it looked fabulous. Folks, if you're watching, should I get a perm or not? Should I get a perm that looks like Nicole? Please, I'm interested to know. And so, Nicole, so we've got and with all these hairdos, all of the hairdos aside, you have a Dora Award, which is
in spite of your bad hair.
In spite of your bad hair, you have a Dora Award, which is Toronto's version, folks watching at home, of the Tony Awards. So can you tell us about winning that Dora Award and how it felt for you?
It was pretty incredible because it was doing a musical, the only musical I've ever done, called Fire, which is all about Jerry Lee Lewis and Jimmy Swaggart, who in real life were cousins. So this was a fictionalization of that. And Ted Dykstra and Rick Roberts were, Ted was the Jerry Lee Lewis, and he could play all that stuff on the piano, and Rick was the preacher. And I think they've done some Facebook stuff where they both, in this sort of pandemic, where they've gotten back in touch with those characters for themselves. And I'm the sort of cousin that they fight over, the underage, like young cousin. But it was great because we got to sing all these great old gospel songs, and every time we sang, it was like a band singing, or, you know, it was sort of, they were songs as songs and not sort of coming out of dialogue. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Oh, that's so great. And that was your first, that was your was that your one and only musical?
Yeah.
So, Nicole, though, that being said, though, I would love to see you playing Maria in The Sound of Music. That's for sure. Because you have the look, and you have the perfect posture and pose for it.
I have the skirt swirling action down. So yeah, that was in Major Barbara. So you'll notice I'm like all happy and joy while there's a cannon and a bunch of ammunition in the background.
Well, it might as well be the Hilltops in Vienna. So exactly. When we do the Sound of Music Theater St. John's, you'll be the first that I'm going to call. Nicole, here we are at the end of our conversation and chat together. I can't believe it.
It's gone by too fast.
It's gone by way too fast.
Well, that's what I say. There's probably like comments flying past going, "Shut her up!" No.
No, I could stay here all night and talk to you. But I do have a few more questions that I'd like to ask you. It's our flash round questions. So whatever first comes to your head, throw them out.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, Nicole Underhay, what is your favorite word?
Lugubrious.
What is your least favorite word?
Moist.
What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
Hiking.
What turns you off?
Rudeness.
What sound or noise do you hate?
Sucking teeth.
What sound or noise do you love?
Laughter. Does everybody just say laughter? I mean, I would think that everybody just says laughter.
Everyone does say moist, though, up top. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Oh, gosh, like a unicorn rider?
Great. What profession would you not like to do?
Piano mover.
And if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
The rosé's in the fridge.
With that being said, cheers to you, Nicole Underhay.
Cheers.
All the best.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being a part of the show tonight, Nicole. It really means a lot to all of us. And I hope you're well. Stay well in Newfoundland. And I'm hoping that Newfoundland will let me in August. And if they do, I will see you there and we'll cheers together.
I still have your spare room set up, so.
I love it. Okay, Nicole, all the love.
Love you. Bye.
Bye. Nicole Underhay, folks, truly one of my favorite people in the world. How often we used to live in the same neighborhood, and we would get together all the time before COVID and share stories and share laughter. So thank you, Nicole, for being a part of tonight's show. So here we are at the part of the show where we celebrate some good news. Here we are.
Good news, it's time for some good
So tonight's some good news. We're trying something new, and I'm so excited. This is our big surprise for the night. I'm so excited to introduce our new host for Some Good News Wah. It's the one and only Tina Madigan.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Some Good News Wah. It's great to be back. I will confess I had to take a little bit of much-needed time off, and I treated myself to a bit of a vacation. Okay, it was less of a vacation and more like a stay where you're to and don't come where I'm at-cation. Does it seem like the rainbows in our world are just a little less colorful? It seemed like every single time I'd try to leave the house, I'd open up the door and there it was. Bam! Bad news hitting me right in the face. Fear and gloom smacking us right in the kisser. And I'd find myself back underneath the kitchen table, hiding again, fearful to go outside. So I took a little bit of a staycation to really look around, to find a light at the end of a dreary tunnel, and maybe put some color back into my rainbow. And I discovered that there are so many incredible things happening in the world around us. Some of those incredible things are happening with the Spirit of Newfoundland, an entertainment company owned by Peter Halley and Kathy Hicks. And with over 24 years of experience and over 150 shows performed a year, the Spirit of Newfoundland has truly become a household name. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the Spirit of Newfoundland and have enjoyed their rib-tickling dinner theater down at the historic Masonic Temple. And I'm sure many tourists have become honorary Newfoundlanders in their screech-in room, raising their glass high in the air and screaming those words, "God bless your cotton drawers, me son, and long may your big jib draw." Well, God bless, but how does an entertainment company entertain the masses when its audience is gone? Well, they raise a glass and they put the wind back in our sails by reaching its patrons through technology. What started off as a live online sing-along with the glorious Shelley Neville and the handsome Peter Halley has now become an online show called Spirits, Songs, and Sauces. Each week, this unique online event takes you on a culinary journey exploring cuisine from different destinations like Italy, New York City, Mexico. There are guest chefs who cook up these specialty dishes right in the kitchen, and you can cook along with them. Now, you can call ahead and get the Spirit of Newfoundland to drop the ingredients right off at your doorstep, or you can get them ahead of time and you cook along to these recipes. In the meantime, you're sipping on your wine and poof, here comes the entertainment. There are performers that drop in and they have a chat and sing a song or two. It's dinner theater from a distance that still makes us feel like we had a night out. There is no stopping this company. They're always going to find a way to make us smile and make us laugh and be proud of our Newfoundland heritage. This past week, they invited the community to celebrate St. John's Days by videotaping and sharing some of their at-home videos dancing the St. John's Waltz. This simple idea of dancing together brought people out from hiding underneath their kitchen tables and back onto the dance floor to collaborate, be creative, and come together at a time when it's hard to be close. Well, the response they got was overwhelming and uplifting. The Spirit of Newfoundland will always find a way to entertain us in good times and in bad, putting a song in our heart and a smile back on our face, and giving us a little bit of hope on the rock, and bringing families some good news.
All the harbor lights are gleaming, and the evening is still and dark, and the seagulls are all dreaming, seagull dreams on Amherst Rock, and the mist is slowly drifting as the storefront lights go dim, and the moon is gently lifting as the last ships coming in. All the sailors got a story, some are true, some are false, but they're always wrecked and they're up on the deck, dancing the St. John's Waltz.
Well, we've had our share of history. We've seen nations come and go. We've seen battles rage o'er house and stage, 500 years or more. For glory or for freedom or for country or for money or fame, but there are no names on the graves when they lie sleeping. All the 9 to 5 survive the day with a sigh and a dose of salt. And they're parking their cars and they're packing the bars, dancing with St. John's Hall.
I'm sold, I'm going to see all the planes fill the skyway and the trains run swift and free. So leave the wayward free to wander.
Leave the restless free to roam.
If it's rocks in the bay, if it's old cliche, you can find your way back home. So don't question or inquire what's been gained, what's been lost. In a world of romance, don't miss out on the chance to be dancing the St. John's waltz. Dancing the St. John's waltz.
So don't question or inquire what's been gained or what's been lost. In a world of romance, don't miss out on the chance to be dancing the St. John's waltz.
Happy St. John's Day, everybody! All the pride of being a Newfoundlander. And I don't know about you, but I was just waltzing here in my living room. I'm in Toronto at the moment. I'm living here, and watching videos like that, it makes me miss home incredibly. And I'm gonna bring in a surprise special guest who's also living away, but has just as much pride as a Newfoundlander. And that's the one, the only, the looking beautiful tonight, Tina Madigan. Hi, Tina.
Hello. It's been too long, Keith. I've missed you.
I missed you. How are you doing?
We're good. I love being back, and I love that we'll get to share a bit of good news with everybody. I'm popping in quickly. I know we pre-recorded that, but we're going fishing with the Boy Scouts.
I hope you get a cod.
I hope I get a big, huge cod, my love. And speaking of cods, I can't love you anymore. I couldn't. Look at me.
I can't love you anymore. Well, Tina, thank you so much for dropping by and saying a quick hello.
Yes.
And Tina, you're going to be around for the next few weeks, yeah?
Yes, I'm gonna be around. And if anyone out there listening knows of somebody that's doing something great for the community or has a story that they'd love to share that you think will make us all laugh or make us feel a little warmth in our heart or add some color to our rainbow, like I said, then drop us a line at Theatre St. John's or come visit us at Facebook. It's lovely to be back.
Great, Tina. Well, Tina, you go have fun fishing, folks. Go follow Tina on Facebook. Her videos will make you laugh and cry and pee a little bit maybe and laugh again. So check Tina out on Facebook and on Instagram and back here on Mondays. All the love.
Bye.
Bye. Tina Madigan, folks. She's really the best around. So let's spread some love down to Tina down in Kansas. So here we are. This is a segment that I like to call Hope on the Rock Entertains.
Sit back, relax, get ready for some music.
All right, get ready for some not only music, but probably the most beautiful music you will hear this week. Let's welcome Mallory Johnson to Hope on the Rock.
Oh, it's so dark.
Hey, Mallory.
One second.
Oh, it's like we're downtown. There we go.
It was daylight earlier when I started watching the show, and then the sun went down. How are you?
Oh, what a beautiful! That's so poetic. And then the sun went down. It's so pretty. How are you doing?
I'm good. I actually, I just got back from Bonavista today. Myself and my mom and dad and my brother and sister-in-law and nephew, we did a little staycation in Port Rexton and Bonavista, Little Catalina. So yeah, we had a nice time.
That's amazing. That's so. I saw some photos on your Instagram of you hiking. Are you a hiker?
You know what? I've always loved it, but haven't done a whole lot of it. But in the past few years, I've been doing it a lot more. And I got some nice new hiking boots, and then I won't get a bunch of blisters. And I was on the west coast of Newfoundland a couple of weeks ago, and we hiked Tabletop Mountain, which isn't really much of a hiking trail because it's all loose rock and gravel. And it was like 10K round trip. And I didn't have good proper hiking boots, and I slipped and sprained my finger, but luckily it was like my strumming hand, so I can still play guitar okay. And actually there happened to be a bunch of bears up there the same day we were there, but luckily we didn't cross paths. But yeah, no, I guess I love hiking now, so it's a thing.
Oh, that's amazing. Folks watching, do you like hiking? What are your favorite hiking trails in Newfoundland or otherwise? Love to know. So Mallory, so proud of you. Remind me, was it last year that this happened?
It was last year. That was the East Coast Music Awards in Prince Edward Island.
Oh, so great. Tell us about that night.
Well, that was such a fun time. Of course, PEI is so beautiful, and my parents were there with me, and my management from the US came up to spend the weekend there with us. And actually, that was the first time my managers had ever seen me play a gig with a full band, like in person and not like online, like actually at a show. Yeah, because it was their first time. Like in the past, like at the CCMAs or like in Nashville, a lot of it are songwriter rounds. So it's like acoustic. So they didn't really get a chance to see me kind of have this big showcase with the band. So it was really cool to have them there for that. And my godfather flew in for that as well. So yeah, it was surreal to walk away with a piece of hardware. So that was pretty cool. And
tell us about the award. What was the award for?
It was for Country Album of the Year. Yeah.
It's so wonderful.
Yeah, thank you.
It's so. Where do you keep your award? Where do you keep it?
That one is home in Nashville, sitting on my bureau next to my vision board.
Oh yeah, smart move. Smart move. I love that. And right now you're in St. Did you say you're in St. John's right now?
Yeah, I'm Conception Bay South right now. Yeah. So yeah, I flew home in March, intending to do an Arts and Culture Center tour with the Rec Laws, and then I was supposed to do a radio tour across the country. And I literally, the next day after I flew home, I was getting notifications being like canceled, postponed, like everything has to be moved. And yeah, it's definitely safer to be where I am right now. So I'm sticking it out here in the meantime.
Well, we're so grateful, Mallory, that you're taking some time, sticking it out in CBS to spend some time with us tonight on Hope on the Rock. So you've got a couple of tunes for us tonight, yeah?
Yes. Yeah, I have a couple of songs I'm going to play. And actually, since you talked about the ECMAs, maybe I'll play the song that I sang at that award show last year.
Oh, yeah, I'd love that.
Yeah, I'll kick that off.
Okay, cool. Well,
all right.
Here we are, folks. Mallory Johnson, take it away.
So this one is called
Stop taking me away. I took you away, and I stayed on. Folks,
okay.
I'm not going to sing any of Mallory's songs tonight. Okay, I'm going to leave. Mallory, take it away.
All right, this one is called Chasing Time. Take the water down, we'll never learn. I feel it in the moment, and you know it can't wait. There's no good in chasing time. Tossing pennies into the raging wild. Run for our money, but we don't stop to smile. We're soldiers, we choose nickels over dimes. We're too busy chasing time. While that clock will strike that midnight chime. Whether we like it or not, don't worry, don't hurry. In the end, no, we don't have a lot, just each other, love one another, and go soak in that sunshine. There's no good in chasing time. There's no good in chasing time. We let love go, thinking they'll come back. We don't wait long enough to see to that. Left heartbroken, don't know when or why we fell in blind. We're caught up in chasing time. Well, that clock will strike that midnight chime. Whether we like it or not, don't worry, don't hurry. In the end, no, we don't have a lot, just each other, love one another, and go soak in that sunshine. There's no good in chasing time. There's no good in chasing time. Be nice to have Evan Smith doing a piano solo right about now. While that clock will strike that midnight chime. Whether we like it or not, don't worry, don't hurry. In the end, no, we don't have a lot, just each other, love one another, and go soak in that sunshine. There's no good in chasing time. There's no good in chasing time. We chase tequila when we should feel the burn. All right. That one was called Chasing Time. I hope you guys like that one. I'm not sure, Keith, do you come back on or do I just keep going? What's the... Oh, there you are. I couldn't remember if I was supposed to keep going or not.
You keep going.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I'll tell a little story about this last one I'm going to sing for you guys. So a few months ago, like we were chatting before, me and Keith, and I was in Nashville before this whole pandemic thing started. And so it was in March when I was home in my bed one night, and then my phone started going crazy with tornado warnings. And that was the night of March 2nd. And of course, that night, I'm sure a lot of you saw all over the news and Twitter and all that kind of stuff that some pretty nasty tornadoes touched down in downtown Nashville and in Tennessee. And that was crazy. Luckily, I wasn't in that direct path, but some people very close to me, weren't so lucky. And a few days after that tornado, myself and a few of my friends, we went down to the areas that the tornado had hit, and we tried to help clean up and everything. And that looked like a war zone. It was really, really tough to see, but a beautiful to see all the community that came together to support these people that had basically lost everything. And so me being an artist and a writer, I was trying to reflect on those emotions, those really conflicting emotions, being super grateful that I was fine and there wasn't even a tree knocked down in my area, but then also feeling kind of guilty that, a few miles away, parts of the city was destroyed. So I wrote this song to kind of put things in perspective for me and kind of reflect on that. And this song is called Worse. And then when I flew home and this pandemic kind of took over, the song kind of took on a whole other meaning. And then of course with the protests and everything, a whole other meaning again. 2020 has just kind of been, you guys know, it's been a constant uphill battle. So this song is just kind of, help me, check myself, kind of put me in my place and reflect, because somebody out there always has it worse. So so I'm going to sing you this song. The song is called Worse, and if you like it, there's a YouTube video. It's on Facebook as well. It's just a live performance video. But I'm going to make sure I sing it in the right key first, though. Did too much time talking about it. All right. This one's called Worse. Somebody cut you off in the drive-through line. You slept in late, won't get to work on time. Monday comes like Monday always does. He's lying again about where he's been. You wonder how long you're gonna let the wheel spin. So you take it on the chin like you won't find another one. You might be crying, but someone's drowning in the rain. You might be seeing red, but someone else may feel the flame. You think you hit rock bottom, you don't come in first. But I can promise you, somebody's got it worse. Your sister forgot to send a birthday card. You want to tell her off cause you took it to heart. How dare she not make her day about you? Your kid threw a tantrum in a grocery store. A carton of milk spilled all over aisle 4. So you headed for the door to avoid the looks around you. You might be crying, but someone's drowning in the rain. You might be seeing red, but someone else may feel the flame. You think you hit rock bottom, you don't come in first. But I can promise you, somebody's got it worse. Ooh. Sure, we've all got problems and reasons to break them. But if you take a minute to look around, You might be crying, but someone's drowning in the rain. You might be seeing red, but someone else may feel the flame. You think you hit rock bottom, you don't come in first. Yeah, you think you hit rock bottom, won't get through the hurt. But I can promise you, somebody's got it worse. I can promise you, somebody's got it worse. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Mallory, that was so beautiful.
Thank you, Keith.
And it's such an important message, hey, that like, you know, it's so easy to bring our energy insular, but we have to be thinking about our community, and we have to be thinking about everybody that surrounds us and that is around us, and take care of them, hey?
Definitely. And I mean, I still believe it's very important to, you know, it's okay to be upset about small things. It's okay to grieve the things in your life that are a big deal to you, even though other people might be in crazy situations that are way worse. But yeah, for me, it was a moment that I really self-reflected, and yeah, it really made my problems seem small, just kind of witnessing that. So.
Well, Mallory, I'm so glad that you're safe, because I thought of you when that all happened, and you posted on Facebook pretty quickly that you were okay. So I am so happy that you are safe, and that you are here with us tonight, sharing your beautiful, not only just your beautiful voice, but you tell stories in such an incredible way. And so thank you for sharing that with us all tonight.
Thank you so much, Keith. You know how much I love you, and I really appreciate you having me on here. This is such a fantastic show, and I look forward to it all the time. And yeah, it's beautiful how you're bringing everybody together. So I really appreciate it. And I appreciate you, Mallory Johnson. All right. Thank you. All the gratitude. And I hope you have a wonderful time. And if I'm in Newfoundland in August, yes, we'll go for a hike. I would love that. I would love that. All the love. Great. See ya. Bye. Mallory Johnson, folks. So you can check out Mallory Johnson. You can find her album. Check out her Facebook page, I'd say would be her best way. She's gone. I was just going to bring her back in to find out where we can find her music. And she's definitely on iTunes and Spotify. So check her out. She's a bright light in the Newfoundland music industry. So here we are at the end of our show. Thank you all for joining us tonight. What a great night this was, full of great stories and some good news and some great music. This is, at the end of the day, a fundraiser for local artists and food banks back home. So if you have a couple of dollars or more or less, head on over to www.gofundme.com/hope-on-the-rock. We can't do any of this without you. So thank you for being a part of the show tonight and being a part of our virtual community. Also, a big thanks to our guests this evening, Nicole Underhay and Tina Madigan and Mallory Johnson. And thank you to Brian Kenny for being our backstage sound. You name it, anything technical, he's our man. So all the love, Brian Kenny. And again, all the love to you, our audience. I hope you all have a good week, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, everyone.
Hope on the Rock, it's your favorite show. Hope on the Rock, it's not really a show. The stories and songs, sort of a virtual show. The only place to go when you need